this episode of Off the Script, number 156, part number 3, for your Sunday, February 12th, 2017! I got news on Samoa Joe's newest casualty. Roman Reigns injured after his match on Raw with Samoa Joe. How long is the big dog gonna be out for WWE? Also, I got news on John Cena's in-ring retirement, reportedly coming soon. I don't believe it, but we'll discuss what the rumors are about John Cena and his WWE future. Also, Chavo Guerrero Sr. passes away due to liver cancer. We'll go over that news that broke on Saturday afternoon as well. Also, we got two major WWE Network specials no longer airing episodes on the WWE Network. What are they and why? We'll talk about it right here on Off the Script. Also, we are going to go over Elimination Chamber, the final preparation going into the Chamber tonight live on the WWE Network. Rumors going around that The Miz is now one of the odds-on favorites to win the WWE Championship tonight inside the Elimination Chamber. All this plus so much more right here on part 3 of Off the Script.
JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. Big Show and Ryback, Strowman and Roman. Get off my fucking TV and save me the misery. And all you fucking goons, just grab a cold beer. The man of the hour is finally here. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script.
What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel today. Elimination Chamber Sunday, February 12th, 2017. Just letting you guys know, tonight's the pay-per-view live on the WWE Network, and I will be doing an official review and results right after the show goes off the air right here on YouTube.com. So make sure you guys are right here for the Elimination Chamber official review. We'll discuss everything that happened during the show, and as we come out of the Elimination Chamber, we should have a lot of our questions answered tonight for WrestleMania 33. If you guys missed Off the Script, this weekend I got 2 episodes already for episode 156, part 1 and 2. If you guys want to hear my Elimination Chamber preview and predictions before tonight's show, that was in part 1, and then we discussed Samoa Joe possibly having massive heat from Vince McMahon about his Monday Night Raw debut. That was in part 2, so those videos are live on the channel right now. Make sure you guys go check them out. Part 1 of Off the Script is on iTunes and Podbean right now, so make sure you guys, if you prefer to listen to it, just the audio version of Off the Script, that is live right now, and you will get part 2 and 3 Sunday and Monday. Want to make sure you guys know that Wrestle Rumble is doing a pick'em for the Elimination Chamber, and if you guys want to win tickets to WrestleMania and $500 cash, you could enter the Wrestle Rumble Elimination Chamber pick'em. Single entry is $10, triple entry is $20, first place is $500 cash, and 2 WrestleMania tickets. Second and third place will receive $100 each. So make sure you guys enter WrestleRumble.com Elimination Chamber, and don't miss out, man. This is easy money. Use your knowledge, put it to the test, guess the winners of tonight's show, and you could be sending yourself to Orlando to have a drink with JD and go to WrestleMania, man. So make sure you guys check that out. I uploaded a WWE 2K17 video and the public deletion of Roman Reigns. If you guys want to go check that out on the channel, WWE 2K17 My Career Mode with Broken 9 to 5. That's live on the channel right now. Also, I want to make sure you guys are aware that Beer Goons is on Podbean and iTunes, the new podcast with Joe Cronin Show and JD, where we just talk about bullshit, man. It's just us and talking about the everyday struggles of life, our love for beer, music, politics. You got sports mixed in there as well. Some wrestling here and there. Not going to be an overabundance of wrestling on there, but it is just a podcast for two guys who are just everyday Joe Schmoes, man. Just living everyday life, and it's just a way to air our grievances during the week, man. It's like, if I was to pretty much sit down and describe it to you, it's like Al Bundy in Married with Children. Just us living the fucking week, going through the rigorous bullshit of the week, and we sit down together with a few drinks, and we just air our grievances, man. That's all it is. Beer Goons, episode 1 on iTunes and Podbean right now. Make sure you guys go and check that out. Over 1,000 downloads for that on Podbean alone. Unfucking believable, man. If you guys are on iTunes, we would appreciate a 5-star rating and a comment letting us know how we could always make the show better. So make sure you guys go and check that out. And Audible. Audible is sponsoring Off the Script this weekend and every other weekend. If you guys want to try out audible.com and the service free for 30 days, compatible with Android and iPhone, they are giving everybody listening today and all weekend long 30 days free to try the service out. And that includes 1 free audiobook, man. All you got to do is go to audibletrial.com/offthescript, and you guys can get 1 free audiobook. A ton of wrestling books on there, man. A lot of you guys, and I mentioned this all week, and have cashed in on the Daniel Bryan book. So if you guys want to go listen to Daniel Bryan's autobiography, you got Chris Jericho, you got Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, Brock Lesnar, Hulk Hogan. You got a bunch of wrestling books on there, man. The Death of WCW, Bob Holly, just to name a few. Plus, you got over 180,000 books in total on the website. Anything of your choosing could be free if you sign up with audibletrial.com/offthescript. And if you guys do sign up and try the service, tweet me at JD from NY206 and tell me which book you got. Show me a picture. I'll automatically retweet every single one of you guys if you do sign up for audibletrial.com. Thank you guys for showing love to the sponsors. Thank you guys for showing love to the podcast and the channel and the videos that I do all weekend long. I cannot do this without you. I got the best fans in the world, and I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Let's get on with the news, man. And I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. Because I know the goon is listening. I know the goon is listening to me before we begin talking about Roman Reigns. So I'm going to let him fucking air his grievances as I sit here and I sip on my coconut seltzer water, and I look up the fucking emails that I got that I haven't checked today. I'm going to let him air his grievances right now, because I know he's watching. I know he's waiting to just fucking zing me with a few insults, because he knows I hate Roman Reigns. So, Goon, please come out of your fucking basement-dwelling fucking stinkfest, and please let me understand where you're coming from this afternoon about Roman Reigns. There you go. It's all yours. The floor is all yours.
Listen here, JD. You fucking mark. You fucking Sami Zayn fanboy. How does his cock taste, JD?
Uh-huh.
Has Sami Zayn driven you around the neighborhood in his Uber? Ha 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 ha. Sami Zayn will never main event a WrestleMania, sure. You fucking mark. Roman Reigns is the greatest in-ring talent
we understand, man.
Of all time. You abandoned him, and now you want to suck his cock as WWE thinks about turning him heel? JD, you and Off the Script sicken me. And I can't wait to see you fail miserably down in Orlando at
I don't know,
WrestleMania.
Man. He's the biggest stalker of them all. He just watches and watches and watches and hates and hates and hates, but he can't get enough of me, man. He's hanging on the very essence that is this channel. He swings from my nutsack every single week. And this goes out to him, man. We're going to start with Roman Reigns hurt after Monday Night Raw in his match with Samoa Joe, man. Right? The Superman. The Superman's hurt. Yeah, I don't think he's Superman anymore, man. He met his kryptonite in Samoa Joe. And please tell me if I'm the only one, man. I know there's a few out there. Now, I don't want anybody to get injured. Okay? I don't want anybody to get injured. I hate an injury. Especially with the split rosters. It could really debilitate an entire roster. One injury. Just look at what Finn Balor. You know, look at what happened to him. Completely fucking decimated the entire roster, man. The entire roster felt that. Every time Roman Reigns goes for the Superman punch, man, I see it, and I'm hoping, out of sheer curiosity, because he hits the mat so fucking hard with his closed fist. And I know Randy Orton got hurt by doing that, by hitting the mat when he was doing the RKO, or getting ready to do the RKO. Am I the only one who wants to see Roman Reigns break his wrist every time he goes and punches the fucking mat as hard as he does before he does the Superman punch? I don't know, man. One of these days it's going to happen, and one of these days I'm going to fucking laugh my ass off. Really. Because I know the goon's listening. He's probably saying, "Oh, JD, how could you say you want to see another man injured, bro?" I don't want him to get hurt. I just think that it's eventually going to happen. Okay? Anyway. 1 week after Samoa Joe made his WWE main roster debut and accidentally injured Seth Rollins in the attack, Roman Reigns was hurt after his match with Samoa Joe on Monday Night Raw. In this week's Wrestling Observer Live with Brian Alvarez, he reported that Roman Reigns was a little banged up. Yeah, so was your sister last night. She was a little banged up. In a good way, though. She wasn't hurt. She was enjoying herself. After the match with Samoa Joe in the main event of Monday Night Raw. The good news is that Roman Reigns shouldn't miss any action, and his man... Oh, fuck. God damn it. He's not going to miss any action, so why am I reporting this then, man? Come on. The good news is that Roman Reigns shouldn't miss any action, and I don't want him to be hurt. And his match with Braun Strowman at Fastlane is not in any danger. According to Alvarez, the injury occurred during a Samoa Joe power slam to Roman Reigns, and the injury is not considered serious. The Roman Reigns injury news is optimistic after the fluke injury, Vince. It's a fluke injury, bro. To Seth Rollins the week before. The Seth Rollins injury occurred after Triple H called him out to the ring. When Rollins ran down to attack Triple H, Samoa Joe came out of the stands and attacked him. Rollins had his knee reconstructed after tearing his ACL and MCL last year. You guys know the story on that. He went down to see Dr. James Andrews again, and WWE is going with that match. Rollins is good to go for WrestleMania. It wasn't as serious as everybody feared, and Triple H vs. Rollins will happen at WrestleMania. The match is still on. That's great news for Roman Reigns in the WWE that Roman is not hurt. While Roman is supposed to battle Braun Strowman at Fastlane, the rumored main event opponent for WrestleMania for Reigns is still The Undertaker. If Roman Reigns fell to an injury, it would completely screw up the booking for WrestleMania because The Undertaker is always an important match. Actually, no, it would not screw up the booking because nobody wants to see that match to begin with. So I think it would actually make the pay-per-view better if Roman Reigns was not there against The Undertaker. If a Roman Reigns injury occurred in Samoa Joe's first 2 weeks in the WWE, it would hurt his standing. Samoa Joe already injured Tyson Kidd in NXT when Kidd took the muscle buster wrong. Bret Hart lashed out publicly at the injury and called Samoa Joe sloppy. No, sorry, bro. Some people told me, a few people actually told me that Tyson Kidd had pre-existing neck issues, and it was just exacerbated with that muscle buster from Samoa Joe. So he didn't do it on purpose. Samoa Joe is not going in there risking injury to everybody because he wants to. It is also ironic that the first person that Samoa Joe injured from the main roster was Seth Rollins. Over the last 2 years, Rollins was part of the matches that saw the career-ending injury of Sting, an injury that put the new, at the time, Universal Champion Finn Balor on the shelf for almost a year, and legitimately broke John Cena's nose with a hard knee. When Seth Rollins originally tore his ACL and MCL, he was personally to blame, jumping from the turnbuckle over Kane and landing wrong. His injury in the Samoa Joe attack was due to his knee bending wrong when he fell, a fluke accident that was in no way Samoa Joe's fault, Vince. The Roman Reigns injury was due more to a rough power slam. Since the Roman Reigns injury is not considered serious, he shouldn't miss any time at all. Fans should see the big dog back on Monday Night Raw next week when they air live from Las Vegas. I wish Roman Reigns would get lost in Las Vegas. There is still a few weeks before Fastlane takes place, so WWE can play it smart with Roman Reigns until his match with Braun Strowman. It seems that WWE still has plans lined up for Reigns, despite the fans seeming to still rebel against anything that he does. Vince McMahon was talking about how great SmackDown Live has been doing since the brand split on this week's conference call from Stamford, Connecticut. During this talk, he mentioned how they can pull off surprises on that show, such as possibly moving someone huge like Reigns over there in the future. It is unclear that McMahon and WWE still see Roman Reigns as one of their top stars, and his push should continue strong into the foreseeable future. So that is what we have with Roman Reigns. He is not hurt. He is going to be on Monday Night Raw. Samoa Joe is not to blame here. It's just the nature of the business, man. You are an athlete. Athletes get hurt. You're in a competitive sport. You're risking your body. You're putting your body on the line every single fucking night. Nothing is going to go perfect, okay? You are not going to have a perfect injury-free year. Nobody does, unless you're fucking not of this earth, okay? You're going to get banged up. Roman Reigns was banged up. People were reporting that he's out, he's injured. I seen this, and people clickbait the fucking shit out of it. Roman Reigns injured. Roman Reigns out. Roman Reigns hurt. Roman Reigns was hurt with Samoa Joe in his match with Samoa Joe on Raw. But they didn't go into the fucking news article where Alvarez says it's not serious. He'll be on Raw. He will be at Fastlane against Braun Strowman. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, though I joke about it. Roman Reigns is very important to the WWE and to Monday Night Raw. And trust me, this company cannot risk and have any more injuries going into WrestleMania, okay? They need everybody healthy, happy, on deck, and at WrestleMania. Okay, so Roman Reigns is not hurt. He will be back on Monday Night Raw. Everything will go on as scheduled with Roman Reigns. Moving on to the next story, we have John Cena's in-ring retirement coming soon. And this is a report that's been an ongoing thing throughout the year. Everybody's talking about John Cena. Everybody hates John Cena. Everybody's complaining that John Cena beat AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. Blow me. Okay? If you don't appreciate what John Cena did at the Royal Rumble with AJ Styles, then you shouldn't really be watching the sport. You shouldn't be watching WWE. Okay? It happened. You knew it was going to happen. I went over why it happened. Okay? Styles beat him in Money in the Bank. Styles took a pinfall in a 6-man tag at Battleground with John Cena. Styles went into SummerSlam and beat John Cena at SummerSlam clean. He pinned John Cena in a triple threat match with Dean Ambrose for the WWE Championship at No Mercy. So he's had John Cena's number. He was not going to go into the Royal Rumble and beat him clean again. The storyline made sense for John Cena to get his win back. After most of this feud, John Cena has put over AJ Styles. So if you guys can't understand that, and you can't see the storytelling, if you guys think by any means AJ Styles was hurt in his standing with WWE, or his status was hurt because he lost to John Cena, I mean, you guys got a fucking problem up here. You got some mental issues. AJ Styles by no means was fucking pushed, devalued, or hurt status-wise with that match with John Cena. No way. The match was too good for him to be hurt. But John Cena has been very good since his return to the WWE. Promo-wise, and the match with AJ Styles clearly shows that he can hold up his end of the bargain. Cena is currently holding the WWE Championship for a 16th time. And at the height of his WWE career, it may be the best time for his in-ring career to come to an end. It's infamous for a quarterback to end a Hall of Fame career with a championship. For WWE, that would be equivalent of winning the WWE title in your last match or putting someone over at WrestleMania to pay it forward one final time. In John Cena's case, he's already tied Ric Flair's historic record of 16 world title reigns at the Royal Rumble just a few weeks ago. It's a given that he'll be breaking that record eventually in the near future, but the length and quality of his title reign may suffer due to his commitments to Hollywood and other outside projects. Cena has been insistent that he won't leave the WWE, but his schedule says otherwise over the past 2 years. Since 2015, he's missed a lot of time on WWE television because of injuries and outside commitments. The quality of his in-ring work is fantastic. Now, I wouldn't use that word. The report's using that word, But Cena's body of work in the ring, you know, it's not perfect. But it is better than every other man that's held his position before him. Okay? Better than a Hogan. You know, towards the tail end of Austin's career, Austin was all fucked up. He wasn't as great as he was when he was coming into the WWE, having matches with Bret Hart. You know, The Rock. You know, The Rock really isn't all that great towards the tail end of his career. The character of The Rock was great. But Cena seemingly is getting better as the years go on. He's learning more. He's taking risks. He's doing things that The Rock and Austin at the tail end, and I mean the very tail end of their careers, was doing. He's doing it better. You know? They wanted out. They knew they wanted out. Austin didn't have a full retirement. He didn't have a right retirement. He was gone. Nobody knew. Nobody knew that was his final match. Done. He was gone. The Rock cared more about Hollywood towards the tail end of his career than WWE. And he still does. Even though they say they love the WWE, they're going to go where the money is. They're going to be with the money. Is always going to be number one with those guys. I'm not saying by any means that Cena's better than a Rock or Stone Cold. Don't fucking misconstrue my words. I'm talking about the body of work that is John Cena. He's getting better. I've been watching this product for far too long, and I see, I watch, I dissect, I watch different than you guys. Cena's body of work from when he came in, you know, nobody liked John Cena. The character was just very Hogan-esque. Cena's body of work is moving away from that Hogan-esque bullshit and being the number one guy, and it's concentrating on his in-ring work. And what he's done is he's getting better. Like I said, he's taking risks. Yes, working with an AJ Styles is going to fucking make anybody look good, but to hang with an AJ Styles, you got to know what you're fucking doing. You got to know what you're doing, bro. Cena knows what he's doing. And if AJ could bring a near 5-star match out of John Cena is doing something right. You got to give him some credit. Fuck John Cena, man. Fuck John Cena, man. That's all I'm going to hear in the comments section. JD's a John Cena fan. No, I'm not. I am not a fan of John Cena. I respect the guy's work ethic. Two completely different things. So before you start fucking misconstruing my words, okay? Understand and listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Anyway, moving on. Since 2015, he's missed a lot of time on WWE television because of injuries and outside commitments. He is set to take another hiatus from WWE after WrestleMania 33, so how much longer he will be able to make these runs in the ring is anybody's guess. Eventually, he will be forced to choose, and retirement may be the best option for John Cena, which will make some of you very happy. According to recent reports, John Cena may be wrestling his last year in the WWE as a full-time performer. In the future, it's likely he will be featured in the same way that Brock Lesnar is on WWE television. He will work a specific feud and be around for the big WWE pay-per-views and the builds towards them. But his future as a full-time wrestler is coming to an end and will end sooner rather than later. However, he has a potential injury, or unless he has a huge potential injury or a huge movie role, away from retirement. The truth is that John Cena's limited schedule will be a great thing for the WWE roster and the product. He and AJ Styles are on another level right now on WWE television, so Cena's absence will be a big hit to the roster, but it also opens up a huge window of opportunity for WWE to give that to another star and elevate their game to Cena's level. Thing is, will WWE ever get it through their heads that they need to start pushing new stars? Will they allow someone to take a risk and take a shot at John Cena's throne? Anybody that's not named Roman Reigns? I don't think so. Because WWE's track record isn't really all that great about building new stars and including a believable fucking babyface. They're not going to make you believe in anybody unless you're a fucking Roman Reigns. If you're not on WWE's radar, you're shit out of luck. So WWE really needs to get it through their head that Reigns is not the next Cena. They don't have the next Cena in the WWE. I firmly believe that the next John Cena was Daniel Bryan. If he was not hurt, Daniel Bryan is that guy. Is there anybody to replace John Cena in the WWE right now? Absolutely fucking not. If I was to take a chance on somebody, it would be Kenny Omega. He's young, he's athletic, he's got the looks, he's got a great way to carry himself. He could be the number one guy if they give it to him. And he's proclaimed he's not going anywhere in the WWE unless they give him that opportunity because he knows what he's worth. And I believe him. From all the interviews I watched and I backlogged on, the way he speaks and the way he carries himself, and the way I heard him on Jim Ross's podcast and on Jericho's podcast and everybody talking about Kenny Omega, the man carries himself great. I think Omega, if he does come to the WWE, is the next best thing to replace John Cena. Will WWE give him that opportunity? Only time will tell. AJ's nearing 40. I would say AJ, but AJ is nearing 40. It's not realistic to say AJ is the next John Cena. He's the best wrestler in the world, but he's not going to replace John Cena. He's not going to be on Good Morning America. He's not going to be fucking flying all over the place doing PR. Kenny Omega, I could see doing that. That's just my honest opinion. Now, not only that, but a match with John Cena will become an exciting aspect to WWE television, and it will be more important on WWE TV because it will happen more rarely. Of course, a wrestler could always be one big injury away from calling it a career. On paper, the limited schedule may preserve Cena's career to last much longer than it would if he continued to wrestle in WWE on a full-time basis. At that rate, Cena may be around for another decade. I don't want to get your fucking hopes dashed here, but that's what the report says. The expectation is John Cena will be dropping the WWE Championship tonight in the Elimination Chamber, possibly to Bray Wyatt. It could be The Miz. People reporting The Miz. I said that AJ Styles could really be a dark horse here. Even though he's the best wrestler in the ring, AJ Styles, nobody's picking AJ Styles to reclaim the title. And you got to give it to WWE, man. Everybody's got this Bray Wyatt thing in their head. You know, don't leave it to WWE. Don't be surprised if WWE goes with something that nobody else is expecting. That's why I'm going with AJ Styles. Taking a risk, going with Styles. If Wyatt wins, fantastic. I want him to win. And I would be happy for him. But everybody's talking about Bray Wyatt. When was the last time WWE did anything that was being reported for weeks? Everybody's got Bray Wyatt up here, but WWE could be thinking The Miz or AJ Styles against Randy Orton in WrestleMania. So we're going to find out tonight. So it's been rumored that he will be teaming John Cena with Nikki Bella against The Miz and Maurice at WrestleMania. The match will most likely be Nikki Bella's retirement match because she's having some neck issues after her surgery. Ryan Satin already reported from Pro Wrestling Sheet that that will not be the case. Nikki is just taking time off, and she will go to a part-time basis. After WrestleMania 33, long-term plans for John Cena are unknown. His retirement is inevitable, but Cena is now a man with options outside of WWE. This is why he continues to get asked about his WWE future in light of all of his success. His retirement from WWE is only a matter of time and choice, but John Cena's career in wrestling is slowing down. Cena will always be around WWE in some way, but being an active competitor in the ring may not last much longer for John Cena. It's coming. We don't know when, but this year will be a good indication about how long and how much we see of John Cena in the WWE. Moving on to something that I really don't like reporting. Mike Adamle, former Raw GM, diagnosed with dementia. This is a fucking sad story because this disease is hitting my family now with my Aunt Teresa. My Aunt Teresa is bad. You know, she's not even in her 70s, man. She's 68, I believe. And she is on the verge of full-blown dementia. And I don't see her lasting this year. I think this is the year, regretfully and unfortunately we'll be laying her to rest. And it's sad. It's sad because, you know, of how she's suffering, and if you guys met my Aunt Teresa, it's a shitty situation because she is one of the most innocent fucking people you could ever meet, man. She always put, and I mean always put, everybody first before her. I remember when we were little, we rushed over to her house in the summertime because my uncle had this huge fucking pool in the backyard. Me and my brothers used to go swimming. My uncle used to come in. You know, my Aunt Teresa used to come in. We used to barbecuing. It was just fun, man. The dog used to come into the fucking pool and swim. And it's to a point now where we're kind of expecting it, and it's like a waiting game. And we know it's coming, so that kind of eases it on us a little bit more. You know, instead of it having it just come out of nowhere and we're fucking devastated and we're shocked. We're kind of expecting it to happen. So that kind of, that kind of eases us a little bit. If that makes any fucking sense at all. But Mike Adamle was diagnosed with dementia. And he's a former NFL player and TV host who transitioned into the world of professional wrestling in the late 2000s. He's suffering from dementia. This was confirmed by the 67-year-old ex-Monday Night Raw general manager in a recent interview with NBC5 Chicago. He's a native of Kent, Ohio. Mike Adamle was a college football star for Northwestern University as he played well enough at running back to get drafted in the 4th round by the Kansas City Chiefs in 1971. He would go on to play 6 seasons in the NFL, mostly as a backup, but would become a much better known football player later. He would become much better known later on as the co-host of American Gladiators from 1989 to 1996. Adamle was also active as a football announcer and first worked for WWE Chairman Vince McMahon in 2001 as he covered sideline duties in the only season of McMahon's ill-fated football league, the XFL. Wrestling fans, however, are more familiar with Adamle's 10-month stint in WWE, which started in January 2008 at the Royal Rumble. He acted as a backstage interviewer for Monday Night Raw, replaced Joey Styles as ECW play-by-play announcer, and served a few months as an on-air authority figure, working as Raw's general manager until he left WWE in November of that year. He then returned covering more traditional sports, and he had most recently been a sports anchor for NBC5 in Chicago before leaving his post in March of 2016. With almost a year having passed since Mike Adamle left NBC, the station's official website conducted an interview with the veteran sportscaster where he made a shocking admission about why he had abruptly left his job. While Adamle has been suffering from epilepsy and seizures for almost 2 decades, he has had more recently been on a long-term disability and had recently been diagnosed with dementia. His doctors also believe that he may be suffering from chronic traumatic, I can't pronounce this, it's called CTE. I quote from Mike Adamle, "My doctor said we see some things that are concurrent with CTE," and I'm going, what? How could you say that? I thought it was supposed to happen after you pass away. CTE, if you guys don't know, and I didn't know, is a brain disease where sufferers experience memory loss, aggressive behavior, depression, confusion, and ultimately progressive dementia. So we all made fun of Mike Adamle for, fucking up a line or forgetting something and mispronouncing something when he was on air for Monday Night Raw as their GM. Now it's all coming to light. It's coming full circle as to why that might have been. We didn't know then, and we poked fun at him. Now we see what the real reason is and what probably led to those situations. And it's sad to know, it's sad to hear, it's sad to see. I don't wish this upon my worst enemy, man. That's fucking terrible. After I seen what my grandfather went through with similar issues to this, it got bad. He didn't suffer from CTE. My grandpa didn't have full-blown dementia, but he did have memory loss for sure. That's what Alzheimer's is. He did have aggressive behavior later on, in the later stages of that. He just got very angry for no reason, very distant from everybody. He didn't want to eat. Depression, that falls into that. Confusion, he didn't know where he was. He was thinking that he was at home and that he had a job to do. And he was rushing out of the house, and we had to monitor him 24/7. And that ultimately led to Alzheimer's, and it just breaks down your organs. It breaks down your body to the point where you forget how to do the most basic things, and it killed him. So that condition had previously been associated with boxers, CTE, due to the repeated blows to the head they received in the ring. But in more recent years, several former NFL players have been diagnosed with this disease. These include Pro Football Hall of Famers such as Pittsburgh Steelers center Mike Webster and San Diego Chargers linebacker Junior Seau, both of whom were diagnosed with CTE after their deaths. Although Adamle had never actually wrestled for WWE, there have been dozens of former WWE superstars who claim to have suffered long-term neurological injuries that are proven to cause CTE, and some of them sued the company in 2016 over these injuries and how they were handled. According to the Chicago Tribune, some of the plaintiffs included the late Jimmy Snuka, Road Warrior Animal, Joe Laurinaitis, Chavo Guerrero, and referees Earl and Dave Hebner. Mike Adamle's neurologist, Dr. Michael Smith of Rush University, confirmed to NBC5 Chicago that he does have some warning signs of CTE, though the doctors are only able to diagnose the disease once the sufferer has died. Adamle admitted to NBC Chicago that he has to deal with dramatic mood swings, depression, anxiety, fits of anger, and short-term memory loss. He also illustrated 2 simple examples of how memory loss in particular affects him at the present. This is what Mike Adamle said. Here's what happens. You come over and you can do an interview with me and you'll leave and I'll say, oh God, who is that? Watching a movie last night, this happened last night, 5 seconds into it, I'll say, what are we watching? It appears that Adamle's dementia and CTE symptoms are a result of concussions that he suffered during his football career. And when he was asked if he knows how many times he got concussed, he told NBC5 Chicago that he isn't sure, adding that concussions, once thought to be no big deal during his time as a football player, are indeed a serious problem. And now you want to know why WWE has gone away from the chair shots that they used to do back in the day, and the repeated blows to the head, and the WWE banning the pile driver, and the WWE banning this move and that move, and just taking a stance on what to do as far as blows to the head. Did you guys see that Cody Rhodes chair shot at the latest Ring of Honor, a house show? I don't know who it was with, but some dude was sitting in a chair. Cody Rhodes literally blasted this guy in the face to the point where everybody's saying that he could have legit killed somebody in the ring. That should not be allowed. I don't care who you are, what promotion you are. Concussions, blows to the head need to be a serious fucking topic. It needs to stop. We all enjoyed it back in the day during ECW. That's when people thought, oh, nothing's going to happen. We're invincible. Oh, it's cool. Right? How many of those guys now are living a quality of life? Barely any of them. Everybody's going to be suffering. And if you did survive that era, and you're living okay now, you're going to be suffering later on in life. I'll be sitting here reporting that Bubba Ray Dudley has some type of issue. Sabu, Rob Van Dam, Sandman, Tommy Dreamer, Terry Funk. It was cool back in the day, and now you're reading this and you're listening to me talk about Mike Adamle. How many of our childhood heroes growing up and the guys that we had as a major presence in our childhood, how many of them are going to be suffering this type of shit? Due to concussions and head injuries, head trauma, CTE, dementia. It sucks. It sucks. I don't want to see anybody else in my family go through this bullshit. I don't want to see anybody at all go through this bullshit. It is awful. Absolutely fucking awful. Meanwhile, Mike Adamle is doing the best to deal with this in the present. His dementia has also made him unable to work or drive, but nonetheless, he remains determined to stay active and somehow improve his memory, or at least slow the effects of his memory loss. He says, the only way I can extend my life and be around to see my daughters get married, live happily ever after with your wife, I want to be able to do all that. The only way you can do that is to stay active. And that's what killed my grandfather. That's what killed my grandfather, man. The family closed up my grandfather's roofing business. He was his own business owner. He was happy and fucking healthy as a fucking ox, man. My grandpa was 80 fucking years old. And more healthy than someone in their fucking teens. He was more healthy than anybody that I ever seen, ever. He woke up at 4 a.m. He had his fucking oatmeal. He had his tea. He always took care of himself. As soon as they closed up the business, and as soon as my grandpa settled into home life and was forced to retire, he used to love going to the racetrack. He used to love getting out and going gambling. He used to love going to Atlantic City. He used to love going to Yonkers and going to the fucking casino and taking my grandma out to dinner and this and that and blah, 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 blah. Nothing. It all came to a fucking end. He didn't go to the racetrack. He didn't watch the races on TV. He didn't bet on anything. He didn't know what the fuck a horse was. He didn't know who anybody was. He didn't stay active. You took the only thing in his life away, and you killed him. All the man knew was how to work. All the man knew was how to provide. All the man knew was to wake up, assist somebody, help, fix a roof, fix a gutter, do a job, make money, make my grandmother happy. You take that all away from him, and he was sitting home in his pajamas every single day. For 9 years. Less than that. What was it? 7 years, 8 years? Killed him. Killed him. I hope Mike Adamle stays active, and, you know, if... I'm not really overly religious. I don't go to church. You know, I don't pray. But I hope Mike Adamle fucking fights his way through this, man. I hope he fucking... You know, there's no way you can beat this thing. There's no cure for it. My brother is a chemist. You know, he made a vow, my brother Michael, to come up with a cure for this. That's his goal. That's what he wants to do. There's no cure for this thing. There's no cure for Alzheimer's. There's no cure for dementia. Stay active, and I hope Mike Adamle stays active long enough to subdue this thing, man. Once it gets a hold of you, it sucks. It fucking sucks. So I wish him the best, and my thoughts and prayers are with him. And, you know, I want everybody to look back, you know, me included, to look back as to why is this guy, you know, botching? Why is this guy fucking up? Now we got the full-blown reason as to why. And it's certainly a sad state of affairs, man. My thoughts and prayers to Mike Adamle, his daughters, his wife, and his entire family, man. It's just a shitty situation. Moving on, guys. Goldberg to defeat Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship in a squash match at WWE Fastlane. Bill Goldberg made his WWE return on Raw this past week and managed to get a huge WWE Championship opportunity with the Universal Championship on the line at Fastlane against Kevin Owens. But he will end up winning the match the same way he beat Brock Lesnar. That's the rumor going around right now. It is now official that Goldberg will take on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 33 in a few months, which is supposed to be their final match. The world is pretty happy about it due to the last two being lackluster, to say the least. For a while now, the plan has been to make the two the main event of the show, which is weird to many. The problem with it going on last was that the two have already proven they cannot do a good match together. So why would anyone care to watch them go on last? A lot of matches are going to be added to the event now and then that may be very well bigger in the eyes of the WWE fans. Seth Rollins vs. Triple H alone, if it does happen, has more fans intrigued. WWE simply could not justify the two going on last unless it was for one reason, a championship. This led to the conclusion that WWE would end up putting the Universal Championship on one of them heading into the event. It was then concluded that the person WWE would go with would be Goldberg. Obviously, before he can be the champ, he has to win the title in a match against current champion Kevin Owens. This past week on Raw, the two were involved in a segment in which Chris Jericho accepted Goldberg's challenge to a match for the title for his best friend, Kevin Owens. Of course, many believe this will lead to tension down the line that the two will have, and it will result in a match at WrestleMania 33 between Jericho and Owens. It makes sense to build a story out of it, as Owens would be ticked off at Jericho after his loss. Cage Side Seats confirmed the news that Goldberg would take the title at Fastlane, and also confirmed that this would indeed set up a rivalry between Jericho and Owens for WrestleMania 33. It is also being reported that the plan as of now for the Fastlane match between Goldberg and Owens will be a squash match, similar to what we saw with Brock Lesnar and Goldberg at the Survivor Series last year. Fans either hated or loved the idea of Goldberg running through Lesnar, as there was no in-between stage there. However, it will most likely not be something fans will enjoy when it comes to Kevin Owens. Basically, the WWE would be saying a 50-year-old man who is not nearly the animal he was a decade ago can rip through one of the best young workers in the world who has been the WWE Universal Champion for months. Obviously, if Lesnar Goldberg is going to be the main event of WrestleMania, it does need the WWE Universal title to make sense being there. However, it would be a mistake for WWE to go the direction of a squash match, as it would make Kevin Owens look terrible in the end. Now, WWE would have to justify this in some way, but would not be able to. Pro wrestling truly is about surrendering your belief in everything that goes down in real life. That's why we love it. However, there are levels here that must be at play when it comes to real-life scenarios involved in the world. A 50-year-old man who has not competed on a regular basis in over a decade cannot hang in a wrestling ring with most any wrestler today. Somehow has the ability to beat one of the premier workers in this business in 10 seconds. That alone is tough to take, but in a squash match, seems like a bad decision if WWE does go in that direction. WWE has backed themselves in a corner here. They really do. It's not going to make any sense otherwise. WWE booked themselves in a corner here. And I mentioned this on Out of Nowhere with Joe Cronin's show. And I don't see them doing this because I don't see them making Goldberg look weak going into WrestleMania. Being that he's the one who has Brock Lesnar's number. Okay? People are saying, JD, what if Lesnar screws Goldberg out of the title and Owens retains? Number one, I want you to think about this logically, and WWE is not one for logic, but I am always one with logic. That's why I'm here. That's why I do this show. If Lesnar was to interfere in the match, it wouldn't make any sense to me. Because number one, on WWE's part, behind the scenes, it's not going to make Goldberg versus Lesnar a main event match for WrestleMania. We've seen the match at WrestleMania 20. We've seen the disaster that was. We've seen the squash match when he came back at Survivor Series. What else is there to do? Outside of what we've seen already, there's nothing that this feud is going to make you, me, and everybody else interested in. So based on WWE's behalf here, behind the scenes, they pretty much have to give Goldberg the title. Because this feud needs something. You did everything that we could possibly see already. The squash match was the end of it. It should have been the end of it. But now, you're booking this one at WrestleMania, and you're going to do what? You're going to give us another squash match? You're going to have Lesnar squash Goldberg in 10 seconds? That's not really a main event worthy WrestleMania match. It's not what I want to see out of a WrestleMania. I couldn't give two shits about this fucking feud anymore. I'm over it. I am over it. So by that alone, you need the Universal Championship in this match if you're going to make it a main event. And I mean by main event, closing the show. When I talk about main event, I talk about being the best match on the show. To me, the main event is going to be whatever the WWE Championship match is going to be. That's my main event. That's what I mean when I talk main event. I know Goldberg and Lesnar is going to main event. I don't see them going on not last. So you need to give them the Universal Championship. Okay? So if I'm Lesnar, why am I going to help Goldberg, or why am I going to help Owens, rather, retain the title, when I know that if Lesnar's on the outside, and he beat me in 90 seconds, he's not going to do the same thing to Kevin Owens? Why would Lesnar interfere in that? Go ahead, squash Kevin Owens in 90 seconds. You got the title. Now you're booked in a match with me for the title. I'm going to do everything in my power to take that title off of you. Why would Lesnar interfere? Doesn't make any sense. If you're Lesnar, you leave the match alone. If he beat me in 90 seconds, what is he going to do to Kevin Owens? Half that. So get that out of the way right there. Can they make Kevin Owens look good? No. No. How are you going to make Kevin Owens look good here? You can't. It's not going to make sense. What is Kevin Owens going to do that Brock Lesnar could not do? The only thing that Kevin Owens could do is be better prepared. And they could play off that if they wanted to, which I don't think they are. Lesnar, they went on the story that Lesnar wasn't prepared. He underestimated a 50-year-old Goldberg. He was not prepared. He didn't see the spear coming. And before you knew it, there was a jackhammer and a 1-2-3. He was not prepared. You're not going to have Kevin Owens go into this match and last longer than 90 seconds. Because if Lesnar couldn't do it, there's no way Kevin Owens is going to do it. Now, the way I would book it, and like I said, we talked a bit about this on Out of Nowhere. If you want to pull a Bret Hart, and a Goldberg, listen, Kevin Owens can come out wearing his shirt, and underneath the shirt could be a steel plate. And as soon as Goldberg goes for the spear, the steel plate is there to pretty much eat the blow. And Kevin Owens could knock Bill Goldberg out, and he could last longer than Brock Lesnar based on a technicality. He had the steel plate underneath his shirt, strapped to his chest, and when Goldberg went for a spear, there you go. The only counter to Bill Goldberg was not seen by anybody. But I don't see WWE doing that. I would love it. Bret Hart, a Canadian, did it. Why not another Canadian and Kevin Owens follow the steps that your fellow Canadian did? The only way to counter Bill Goldberg in his prime was a steel plate worn around your chest. Why can't Kevin Owens do that? Makes sense to me. Makes perfect sense to me. But all in all, WWE's backed themselves in a corner here. There's nothing that they could do. It's squash and squash only. For the reasons that I just gave you. There's no way around it. We are getting Goldberg versus Lesnar for the Universal title in the main event of WrestleMania 33 at Camping World Stadium. Done. And I hate that they are going the CM Punk route here. At least CM Punk put up a fight against The Rock. I hate that he dropped his 400-day title reign to The Rock, only for The Rock to drop it to John Cena. It should have been the other way around. The Rock should have been the one to put over Punk, and Punk then should have put over John Cena at WrestleMania. By WWE standards, I would have never had Punk put over John Cena at WrestleMania. I would have had Punk be the champion for fucking as long as it could possibly go on. But Rock should have put over Punk. We already seen the fucking Cena match already. Come on, man. So they're going the CM Punk way here with Kevin Owens, dropping it to a part-timer, and in this case, dropping it to a part-timer to give it to another part-timer that will ultimately be fed to Roman Reigns. And I just have this sneaking suspicion that Roman Reigns is being set up for an eventual match with The Rock at a future WrestleMania, and that's going to be WWE's passing of the torch for real. WWE's going to have all these passing of the torches for Roman Reigns, you know? They're going to have The Undertaker do the job. They're going to have Lesnar do the job. They're going to have The Rock do the job. By the end of this, WWE is going to proclaim that Roman Reigns is the greatest in-ring talent of all time. Before he's 30. Fuck out of here. Goldberg is going to win the Universal Championship. No way around it. Squash at Fastlane coming. Look for it. If there's any technicality, if there's anything else that I'm not seeing here, please let me know. I'd be shocked if this match goes more than 2 minutes. I just don't see it happening. WWE backed themselves into a corner here. That sucks. Reason behind Samoa Joe wearing a suit on Monday Night Raw. He looked great, by the way. While Samoa Joe had an eventful second week as a member of the main roster, his choice of attire to open the show confused the WWE Universe. The former NXT champion opened Raw for a contract signing, putting ink to paper to signify his official start to the main roster. However, the 6'2", 280-pound fighting machine isn't known for his sense of fashion, but rather his brute, intense in-ring style. Now, his choice to wear a suit on Raw was a source of criticism amongst fans. Shut the fuck up, please. You don't go anywhere unless you're dressed to impress, bro. If you wear a nice suit out, who's gonna fucking say anything? You know? A nice suit goes good with anywhere you are. You're looking good. I'm wearing a suit. I'm wearing a nice fucking outfit to the internet darlings, man. I'm not coming up dressed in cargo shorts and slippers and a fucking band t-shirt. I'm coming there in a pink dress shirt, fucking slacks, nice iron crease, some nice shoes. I'm coming up there dressed to impress. Simon, how you doing, bro? Adam, how you doing, bro? Brian Zane, how you doing, bro? Grim, go fuck yourself, bro. You fucking fat slob. Coming for you, motherfucker. Grimm's Toy Show, what happened, bro? You're not the GTS world champion anymore. What happened, bro? Huh? Sad thing is you didn't lose to me. Fucking asshole. The internet wrestling champion. What the fuck he calls that shit, motherfucker? Either way you look at it, it's going to be mine eventually in 2017. Mark my words. Anyway, according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer, right here, he sits on my desk every fucking day, Magic 8 Ball. The idea behind Joe wearing a suit was so that he looked like a hitman in the mob. While Joe often donned a suit during his days at TNA Impact Wrestling as a member of the Main Event Mafia, it was an unfamiliar look in WWE. Joe, who is being billed as the Destroyer, lived up to that moniker 2 weeks ago when he assaulted Seth Rollins in his debut. Blah, 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 blah. MCL injury. Rollins is out. Surgically repaired knee. Blah, blah, blah. You guys know the deal. Joe's planned match against Rollins at Fastlane is canceled, but a recent update on Rollins indicates that he should be ready by WrestleMania 33. As for Joe, he's off to a strong start, taking out Rollins. He faced fellow Samoan Superman here, the big dog, the big gay, Roman Reigns, in a one-on-one bout on this week's main event for Raw. While the finish was altered due to interference from Braun Strowman, Joe was the winner of his first match on Raw. Should have been a clean victory, but I'm not booking this show. Some senile old man with dementia, Vince McMahon is. It wasn't long ago that Joe departed from TNA after a 9-year stint with the company. The Samoan submission machine wrestled for every prominent independent organization after leaving TNA, but WWE was always an option for Samoa Joe. However, after signing a deal in mid-2015, Joe joined NXT and was one of its leading acts over the last 2 years. During an appearance on the Smash Cast, I'm assuming that's a podcast, 2015, Joe spoke about his unique journey from wrestler to WWE superstar. While it won't be up to Joe, he has a diverse list of superstars in the current roster he would love to wrestle. He told NOLA last year. Now he's bracing for the challenge. I have so much history with so much of the roster up there. AJ Styles, John Cena, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Brock Lesnar, a guy I don't have any history with, but I'd love to get in the ring with. Yeah, me too, bro. Joe also said Randy Orton, another guy who we've kind of had a run of parallels with, but we've never crossed paths. I would definitely love to get in the ring with him and mix it up. The options and potential is limitless. To me, a lot of fans have these options, and they're really incredible matches in the making if WWE wants to make them happen. Rusev is another guy who I'd love to go after, he says. So the reason why Samoa Joe wore a suit is because WWE wanted to have him look like a hitman in the mob, and if I was to put money on it, I would say that Triple H thought of this idea, and it came from the mind of the Cerebral Assassin. That's just my idea there for his new star in the making on the main roster, Samoa Joe. What else do we got here, man? What else do I got? I'm going to save the Miz story for an off-the-script extra today, you fucking clowns. Oh, JD, where's the Miz story, man? I'm going to save it for off-the-script extra on YouTube.com exclusively. What else do we got here, man, before I hang it up? I don't think there's anything else. I think I went over everything. The Miz to win, I got it in my notes here, Miz to win WWE Championship, possibly rumored at Elimination Chamber. Oh, yeah, 2 major specials here. This is in my notes. How I missed this? We talked about it. I don't know why I missed it, but this will be the last thing here. 2 shows on the WWE Network being canceled. One of the best components about the WWE Network is the original content that is aired on the network, okay? 2 major specials that appear on the network, the Stone Cold Podcast and Legends with JBL, are apparently no longer going to be airing new episodes. JBL gave a tweet to confirm this, stating that I loved it, wish I could do more, but not to be. Maybe one day WWE will bring it back. Per John Canton of TJR Wrestling, Steve Austin seemed to also be on the list of canceled shows. Legends with JBL had many valuable guests, giving an account of their careers in the professional wrestling industry, starting with Eric Bischoff in September 2015. The two talked about topics such as Hulk Hogan having creative control, the demise of WCW, and Bischoff's stint in WWE. JBL also had Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, Triple H on together to celebrate 25 years of The Undertaker, as well as other names such as Sting, Booker T, and Stan Hansen. During Sting's interview, he revealed that he was holding off on getting surgery in hopes of having one final match at WrestleMania with The Undertaker. The Stone Cold Podcast concentrated on current WWE staff and how they have navigated their careers in pro wrestling. It all started with a controversial episode in December of 2014 with Vince McMahon as he shared his thoughts about the younger, less established wrestlers grabbing the brass ring. He also explained the reasoning behind The Undertaker losing to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans, Louisiana. And he said, nobody wants to give back to the business more than The Undertaker, more than Mark Calloway. And he knew that it was important to give back to the business. There comes a time in which it's time to do that. So why not then? When you consider, okay, who else was, looking down the line, when you look at the talent roster, who else could possibly work with The Undertaker at that time, give back in the biggest possible way he could do to help someone be a star. And what did they do? They gave it right back to Goldberg, and they fucked up everything. They're probably looking back at that now and saying, we fucked up. The Undertaker streak should have never been ended, especially at that point. When you hear the talent roster, you know, who is it going to be? And the only reason why I was okay with it was because it was Brock Lesnar. If it was anybody else, I would have said, fuck no. I still don't think the streak should have been broken, but, you know, it's fucking, it's such a toss-up, you know? They ended the streak, which sucks, but they also gave it to the most believable guy in the company. There was no one on that roster, potentially, in the following year or the year after that. It was timing. And the one person whose time was there at that moment, who Mark thought, okay, this is it. Brock Lesnar. End quote. Austin brought that type of controversial angle to many of his podcast episodes, including the one with Triple H and Dean Ambrose. Triple H explained why Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble, despite being nearly booed out of the arena as a result. Ambrose explained how Lesnar shot down any of his suggestions for their WrestleMania 32 match and was lazy in the ring. He was also called out by Austin to show more passion about being at the top of the WWE food chain, with him being the WWE champion at the time. Both WWE Network originals were valuable components to subscribers and good ways to experience in-depth interviews from competitors, both past and present. While it may be that WWE felt as if they were going too far with allowing fans to see what it is behind the curtain, which I was going to say, Stone Cold Podcast and Legends with JBL will certainly be shows that fans would love to see return again, with even more riveting stories told by the guests who are on that show. The only reason why these shows were canceled was because it went way too far into letting people know how the business works. Especially the JBL and the stories of Hogan and Creative Control and the Austin podcast with Dean Ambrose. Things like that. Lesnar being lazy. And Stone Cold Steve Austin ripping into Dean Ambrose about being more risque. And, you know, you gotta fucking be a little bit more believable on the promos. Live your character, you know. That's the only reason I see why WWE canceled these shows. Because they exposed a portion of the business that Vince McMahon does not want to be seen, heard, or talked about. That's it. I love the Stone Cold podcast, man. I loved that JBL, Road Dogg sit down. I loved the one with Eric Bischoff. That was fucking great shit. That was great shit. And the fact that WWE doesn't have these to lean on anymore, this was a great way to issue in or usher in new subscribers as well. You know? If you hype that up before Monday Night Raw and you got weeks of hype behind it, Stone Cold Podcast with Brock Lesnar, or Stone Cold Steve Austin Podcast with AJ Styles or Sting. You know, there was a moment where everybody was talking about The Undertaker was supposed to be a guest on Stone Cold's podcast. That never happened. But that's a great way to issue in and usher in new fucking subscribers. Oh shit, I want to sign up to the fucking network. I want to see a behind-the-scenes revealing interview with The Undertaker or Sting or this one and that one, you know? It's a great way to get new subscribers to the network. WWE doesn't have that anymore. What are you going to have? You're going to fucking camp WWE? Holy Foley? Get the fuck out of here, man. Hopefully they rebuild these shows or bring back these shows sometime in the future. Hopefully they replace these shows with something that's worth it. But, you know, WWE is all about getting new content out to the subscribers. I love the network. I have no qualms with the network at all, but sucks to see two quality shows go out there and just get canned like that. You know? What about that fucking mock podcast with Peter Rosenberg? They're not okay with that? Or they're okay with that? After we all bash the shit out of that show, that stays, but the Stone Cold Podcast gets canceled. Shit, the WWE sometimes, man, I just don't get them. I don't get them. Anyway, That is it, man. I've been on here for over an hour again. Jesus fucking Christ, man. I'm exhausted. I am exhausted, and that's all you're getting this weekend. Off the Script. Thank you guys so much, man. I'll be doing an Off the Script extra on YouTube.com for the Elimination Chamber. Miz, rumored to be walking out the WWE Champion. Look for that today. I'm also going to be doing an Elimination Chamber match simulation with my commentary behind it for the pay-per-view tonight. Make sure you guys tune into that as well. Thank you guys for showing love to Audible. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter, at JD from NY206. AudibleTrial.com/offthescript. WrestleRumble.com for the Elimination Chamber pick'em. Check out Off the Script this weekend. Off the Script on iTunes and Podbean if you guys prefer the audio to take it to work or school with you. It is going to be uploaded. All 3 parts will be uploaded by Monday, so make sure you guys check that out. WWE 2K17 and wrestling videos are live on the channel for that. Resident Evil 7, those videos are live right now on the channel as well. And that's all I got, man. Barbershop window. If you guys want your t-shirts, get ready for WrestleMania. The PayPal Rumble t-shirts should be getting to you any day now, man. Mostly of you should have them. And I was going to say Patreon. Patreon.com as well. Patreon.com/JD from NY206 if you guys want to support the show monthly. If you guys can afford it, never an obligation, but always appreciate it, man. So thank you guys so much. I'll be back on Friday with episode 157. More subscriber stories. We got a big one for Friday, man. Horse60 chiming in with something very special, near and dear to his heart. He is going to be a subscriber story on Friday's Off the Script. So I'm hyping that up right now, man. It's gonna be great. Horse60, my buddy Horse60, is gonna be sharing his stories on Off the Script next weekend. Plus, we're going to have Fastlane, built to Fastlane, news about Fastlane, and more news about WrestleMania and where WWE's going with that, and more wrestling content all weekend long, guys. Thank you so much for everything. I'm JD. Thank you for listening. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next week for episode 157 of Off the Script.